Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs Audio review. My goodness. Okay, so back in, I think it's October and November of 2023, Shanling released the MG100, which is a 10 millimeter ceramic dome single dynamic driver IM. And they did something. They did something that I feel like, well, at least for my personal experience now, which is probably close or over 200 different sets, um, they did something that's only happened to me twice. Um, and the first time was with the Artti T10 back in February of 2024, which was still fairly early on in my journey, so maybe I was a little bit more easily like blown away at that point, but still the Artie's held up. I mean, let's face it, you know. Well, the same thing happened with the MG100 from Shanling this past week. To the point at which where I just literally I don't want to stop listening to them. Like ever. Like if I could super glue them into my ears, I would. And so, so there you go. Cat's out of the bag. I think I've kind of alluded to this in a couple of community posts. Completely blown away by this set. We'll get into all the details of that with the graph and sonic impressions and so on and so forth. But because, we should do it every time unboxing specs. So let's get started with that. The box is fairly unassuming. It's not terribly large, but it's well put together and it holds everything you need. So, as usual, I am sat here. There are the Kato bronze nozzles. Anyway, not necessarily recommended unless you're an insanely over the top crazy bass head, but then maybe. Cable, which came in this nice pouch. The pouch is almost exact. Well, it is exactly the same as the ME600. Just different color, slightly. Well, not slightly, darker green. Cool case. I like these. They're not crush proof or necessarily protective in any way, but they're nice and does keep the dust off of them. So that's a good thing. Cable, which is modular, which is MMCX in its terminations. So just bear that in mind. I know some of y'all are not a fan of the MMCX connection point, but that's what it is. So, but comes with 3.5 and 4.4. You also get two different sets of, well, two in total. So it comes pre-installed with the silver nozzle black gasket, and then if you want a more transparent, I guess is what they call it, transparent, my opinion, just a lot less bass, you've got the gold and red gasket, which, I'm not going to say not recommended. I'm just going to say was not my preference between the two. And then a fairly nice selection of ear tips to suit your needs. They have what they call bass ear tips, they have vocal ear tips, they have a couple of foams in there, and then balanced ear tips, which came pre-installed on them. So they're good quality. They work, I don't think you necessarily have to jump outside of the box to go get better ear tips, but I have my preferences, so those were here. Everything from the origin ear tips to the, no, I didn't use the Tang Sanchai. I did use the vocal ear tips from Canera. Those were really nicely done. And oh yeah, Pen and L in black, and of course the Final Type E's. I think my favorites were the Final Type E's and the Divinus Velvet normal bore, which are on there now. Final Type E, I guess if you're a little treble sensitive, that might be your preference for these, because they do have some fairly significant energy in the mid treble. But before you write them off, because you saw the graph and you saw the peak, and you're like, uh-oh, don't. Okay, because you'll just be missing out. on an exceptionally good set of earphones. So just don't, because trust me when I tell you that the way this ceramic dynamic driver handles that treble, so much polish and so much finesse, you'll never even know there's a peak there, or even that slight, like 2 to 3 decibel like channel imbalance at that peak. You're just not going to know it's even there. You will not know it's there. It's that freaking smooth. So, all right. Cable in use here is the BGVP DMA cable, which is MMCX, obviously. I felt like upgrading the cable because I was just having so much fun with them. I felt like they deserved it. There's nothing wrong with the stock cable. It is absolutely fine. It's just that, when I can put to use an MMCX cable that is not currently in use and is very nice, then I'm going to do it. Plus, the brownish copper goes really well with the green shell of the MG100. You can also order these in black, but Amazon North America still has the green color on sale for $81. Regular retail price of $159 US, $159 US. So that's almost half off. But if you can't deal with the green, you get the black. The black, I think those are $111 at the moment, so they're discounted as well. No matter how you slice it, these things are an insane deal. Insane. For one of the best IMs I've ever listened to date. $81 is freaking crazy. So is $111 for that matter. So is $159 for that matter. Oh yeah, and a nice little polishing cloth. We'll leave that guy out. So yeah, there you go. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Nice presentation. Tuning nozzles. Ear tips. Nice case, nice cable. Yeah. No complaintios. So here we go. Specs are ceramic diaphragm. I called it dome, but a diaphragm dynamic driver, super linear dual magnet design, lightweight aluminum construction for the shell, tuning nozzles, and a silver-plated copper modular cable. Okay. Impedance of this guy is 32 ohms, and the sensitivity is 113 decibels, frequency range of 15 hertz to 40 kilohertz. All that and a box of chocolates. Yeah. Yeah, it specs out really well. They're not terribly hard to drive. They're not hard to drive at all, honestly, even with the slightly higher 32 ohm impedance. Yeah, you can run them off just pretty much whatever you want to, but yeah, I had some favorites. I would say my favorites were the Burr Brown DAC chips of both the iFi Hip DAC 2, brought that one out of semi-retirement, and the iFi Zendac V2. Also performed exceptionally well with the FIO R2R and its slightly more musical character than the FIO K11 OG. And of course, I could not go without hooking it up to the TA22, and I messed with it. Like, I got my dirtiest sounding tubes out, the like horrible noise floor. I don't know why. Oh, that should go back in. For whatever reason, the PS Vane Art Series gold pins are terribly noisy. Like, just terribly noisy. And could just be the set that I got, because I know that tubes do vary, vacuum tubes do vary in their noise levels, their noise floors. But those things are kind of gross. They're so noisy. So I made the MG100 deal with that, and they did. I mean, you could still hear the noise floor pretty horribly without music playing, but I was like, well, let's see what they can handle. They were fine with the music playing. You couldn't hear it, and they just sounded phenomenal. So I went back to JJ Electronics Gold Pin High Performance tubes, which are my favorites because they're the lowest noise floor outside of the X Duo stock tubes, but have a slightly sort of, I don't know, they have a more organic feel to them than the stock tubes. So that pairing, the JJE and the TA22, I just floored. I'm just floored in general by these. I think I used every single desktop or dongle DAC amp that I have, except for the SMSL DL200, which is upstairs. But yeah, it didn't seem. I mean, it reacted differently to different chipsets and amplification levels, but it all sounded fucking good. Just good. I mean, damn. So, without further ado, the last album I listened to in its entirety was the Polaris album by Tesseract, and that's just in CD quality, 16-bit, 44.1 kilohertz. So, one of their better recordings, though, from an engineering standpoint. Here's the graph, and yeah, immediately you're gonna go, oh boy, here's that peak. It's at 5.21 kilohertz. Yeah, just chill, okay? Just chill. It's not gonna take your eardrums out. It's not sharp edged. It's not fatiguing. It's none of the above. Okay. It really does sound more like just the right channel. That's the blue is the left channel. The higher one is the left channel. The green, if you can see the green, is the right channel. This is the only part right here where there is a discrepancy in, a channel imbalance, so to speak. But I challenge you to actually hear it. Challenge you to actually hear it, because I don't think that you will. Everything else is on the up and up. Everything else, channels are pretty dead on, pretty spot on. Bass on this is one of the strongest, most delicious, lovely, impactful, precise, clean, satisfying bass presentations I have ever heard. It is just, did I say delicious? It's delicious. So good. So fucking good. So fucking good. Yeah, mids are also equally as just spot on. They're clean, they're slightly warm, they're engaging, they're musical, they're not like dry or clinical or cool or cold or anything like that. They're just very engaging. This whole set is so engaging. That's just the icing on the cake, because of the technical performance of this set is just outrageous. I mean, it should not be. All right. But the engaging part of it, obviously, I think that's partly as a result of the fact that you're just dealing with a single driver, right? For once, it's just one dynamic driver per side. That's it. So coherence, continuity from bottom to top of the frequency response is perfect. There's, some energy in the ear gain. I don't think it's anything to be scared about. Again, it's this driver that they used, that they implemented, the way that they tuned it, everything, it just has such polish and finesse that I can't believe the set is currently retailing for less than $100. I can't believe it's retailing normally for less than $200. I can't. Now, justifying a $400 price point for a single DD, and I know some people have them out there, or even more than that, I do get a little bit skeptical. But now, maybe I'm even more skeptical, because I don't think you can get, if you can get any better than this in a single DD configuration, it's only going to be by a hair's breadth. It's just going to be very tiny increments. And so, yeah, maybe there's a $500 single dynamic driver out there that is better than these. I'd like to hear it, because it is absolutely bested every single dynamic driver set that I've listened to date. The only thing that comes close is the Tantrum Origin, and I know some of y'all like the Oxygen better, but that's the only thing that's come close, and the Origin retails for $260. And it's still not as good as the MG100. What makes the MG100 so good, outside of just its balance and its presentation, It is very natural sounding. It's very organic. Even in this mid to upper treble area here, like you can hear the cymbals and the decay like you're in the studio listening to them get struck by the drummer in front of your face. You know, like but it's not too much. It's not like that's all you hear or it covers anything else up. It's just precise. So imaging is precise. Layering is excellent. You can pick out any part of the song, any track that they laid down. You can zero in on it and listen to it. Even those light, ethereal, little, synth tracks that Tesseract likes to throw in, or even Bleed From Within throws in on some of their tracks, like Death Defined or Killing Time. You can hear it. It's just there. It's like, whoop, there it is. The bells, of course, the chimes in Descending at the 650 mark are right there. I mean, everything is just right there. But here, I've had sets recently that I'm picking up all sorts of details out of. Like the Hibby Yacht 10 is one example, right? But here is what really, really sets the MG100 apart from anything else that I've heard in a single dynamic driver, and most sets that I've heard in any configuration of any price point. They transport you. In other words, the immersion is so full and so complete and so immersive that you just go. Like, you're gone. If the music that you listen to has any sort of like effect on you like that already, then this set is just going to take that to a level that I don't think, unless you've got kilobuck sets or something that like you've experienced that before, this set takes you out of your body and into the ether when you listen to it, when you listen to your favorite kind of escape music. And that can go across any and all genres. Okay, for the first time in a very long time, sort of, admitting to this, I don't listen to every single one of my test tracks anymore. It's too time consuming. I know what to expect from some I just skip over. I actually made it through, I would say, about 80%, and it's usually closer to 40 or 50%. I made it through like 80, maybe even 85% of my test tracks because I wanted to hear how the song sounded on the MG100. Not to mention the albums that I listened to in their entirety. I couldn't stop listening to them. So no, there's no weak point to this set. They take everything and just bump it up a full frickin' level, in my opinion. So, it has not been since the Artti T10 that I've been this absolutely blown away by a set, a single dynamic driver set, of all things. They're going to be high on the overall ranking list. They're definitely like in the brain melting category for me. That is just how technically good they are, how immersive they are, how musical and enjoyable they are. That combination is deadly for me. Maybe it won't be for you, but I kind of feel like it will. I kind of feel like you gotta just take the graph and throw it out the window and just enjoy them. Seriously, like, I know I post graphs every single time I review a set. I use a graph now, and it is a good tool. It's a reference. It gives you an idea of the character or the characteristics the set's going to exhibit. The MG100 transcends it. That graph does not do this set the justice it deserves. There is so much more going on, and it is so much smoother and more polished than that graph would indicate. It just is. You're gonna have to trust me on it. The boy who cried banger, that's me. But my last name is Bang, so I'm allowed to. Things that to take into account, right? The nozzles are really, I think, and I have reached out to Shanling. I would like them to send me a new set, at least of the silver and black, because I feel like this might be anomalous. This peak up here, this channel imbalance might be a bit anomalous, and even though for the life of me I really don't detect it, Um, I'd like to see what they or hear what they sound like with different nozzles of the same, a new set. So I don't know. Shanling hasn't gotten back to me on that yet. Maybe they just don't have any kicking around. This the set is like 10 years old in IEM time. So if I can get them and I can regraph, I will do that and I will post it. I'm not holding my breath for that to happen. Yeah, that and the MMCX connection, which I know some people just can't. They can't do it. They can't do it. I don't know why. I mean, it's not maybe not my favorite, but it's not a deal breaker for me. Thank God, because I never would have experienced this or the DMA or the NS10 Pro or there's or the ME600s. Like it's not enough of a reason for me not to get a set that it's MMCX connected. And these are solid, and you do have to use the tool to remove, and they spin just enough so you can make your adjustments as needed. So okay, I that's it. That's all I got. Maybe there's some inconsistency with the nozzles and their MMCX. I would challenge you to find a better set for under $200 than the MG100. I'm not sure one exists. Truly, I don't know that one exists. They're that good. Yeah, I mean, to the point where I put them at the top of my single DDs. I put them above, I ranked the Shanling sets that I have. I put them above the ME600. I don't know. I think I've said enough. I think that's gonna wrap it for the day today, guys and gals. Do yourself a favor if you have the extra $80, or if you really have to have the black, the extra 111 to spend. And these aren't, like, in the US, these aren't tariffed at this point, so like they haven't gone up. They're on sale. Get them. Like, seriously, just get. If you're thinking about it, just go get them. And I'm telling you that from person to person, not as like, I'm not pushing an affiliate link. I'm not pushing. Shanling didn't send me these. These were paid for with my own money. Like, I've got skin in the game here. I'm telling you, you won't find a better set for this price. Not in single dynamic driver, that is for sure. So if you love that continuity, if you love the bass response, I'd say the treble is almost like exquisite. It's so good. It almost reminds me of like an extremely high-end planar magnetic treble, that sort of cascading shimmeriness going on, but still just totally smooth. So, yeah. All right, enough hype. Like I said, do yourself a favor. If you're in the market, get them. Get them now. Get them while they're on sale. Get them before they go back up to regular price and have 30% thrown on top of it. You will be thrilled that you did. All right, that's going to do it for now. I think we're going to do the 02s next, the Sol Note 02 7 Hertz, because that has been requested, and I do have them on hand, and I have started to preview them. So look for that review coming Monday or Tuesday. For now, have a great weekend. Be careful, be safe, be nice. I love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. We'll see you.